Okay. Hello,
All right.
everyone. Welcome to our channel, Leo&Dave. And today we're gonna analyze the Nasdaq, the stock market, and we're gonna pick up a couple of stocks, AI stocks, and some others.
Yeah. We'll go through, have a look at some stocks, look for some alpha, see if there's some alpha. But more, I would say more importantly too, are we in a bubble? Is the stock market about to collapse? Is this an AI bubble? Is the Nasdaq about to collapse? If so, how much are we going to lose? Yeah, let's try to let's have a chat about that. So
So here we have the Nasdaq, and this is on
yeah.
daily basis. When we are, we are 18 November. I forgot the date. Anyway, we have been correcting since November, by the way, because if you look, the top is end of October, Halloween, and yes, we are between 26 and 24. It's already probably more than 5% from the top.
But what do you think?
Uh-huh.
So the Nasdaq, since April 7th, we've been on a tear. April 7th was at the bottom there. That was my buy signal at April 7th. That's when I told guys to buy.
You
A
choose the
couple of weeks.
bottom, huh?
Yeah,
You
I
did.
told you that. I picked the exact bottom. That was when I told my group to buy. It was April 7th, 3 hours before Wall Street opened. I said buy, throw everything at it. And we just got 25-30% on basically anything that you bought. And about a month ago, I told everyone to sell. So we got in, we stole our cash, we did a runner.
Can you remind why we drop? What was the how to say? What was the big?
A lot of the times there's no reason, is there?
I know, but there was no war at the time. April. Um,
Yeah, we've been in war, but that I'm not sure if geopolitical things really affect it that much. You know, so
for me, we're still in a positive trend, as you see, since
yeah,
beginning 23, we are in a up. Some correction always, like there is some little correction, but this was a big correction. But we're still in
yeah.
a we're still positive. Uh,
But yeah, and anybody can look at that chart and look at that. But what do you think's going to happen next? That's what, if I would say, if anyone's watching, that would be what they want to know. What does Leo think? Are we gonna drop?
I think
I'll
we're
let
gonna.
you go.
I think we have been, like I say. So imagine 23, 24, 3 years, 3 years of growth, which is amazing. Look, from 10,000, so it's almost 150%. So they multiply by 2.5. Yes, 150%. And I think we are high, and we can obviously retest some line. Like we can go back to 22. I cannot say that we're gonna see what we have seen in April 16 when you say to people to buy, but well, volatility can come. But if I am conservative, I will say we can retest 22K. So it's like 10% done, and still grow in
Yeah.
26. There will need to be a big event to go back to here. It's like losing. How much is it? Like losing 30%. That will need either
Oh,
economics
that
problem or.
That's unlikely. Yeah, it's unlikely to be a really big correction like this for sure.
It's always possible because look, it did happen on the past from 16 to 10. So if 16 to 10 is like another more than 30%. So why not another 30% from here? It will bring back to 16 and test this this
What do you
line.
mean 16 to 10? What does that mean?
So from the top in November 21 to the correction, 16 to 10 is it's a 30% down.
When is what? Just tell us the dates. When is the top? Sorry, what was the top?
The top was
I can't see
December
it.
December 21. November at the same as the same as crypto.
So
November
21.
21. Yes. And there was a correction for
Where's
1 year.
that?
So December 22, 1 year of correction here.
Okay, yeah. That I think that's a special, a special time during COVID, really. And if you look at that trend, we're almost at that trend again. If you were to draw a line through there without
From
the
the top?
COVID drop.
You mean from the line from the top or bottom?
Well, if that trend, no, like I would say, if you can slide that up, yeah, doesn't
But
matter.
but what we can see is
So
when I look at this graph, we can see that the bounce back is very, very, how to say, very important. Like, wow, it's like 16 to 26. It's like he took 60% in 6 months. Yes, from April. It's a very so it's a very to say like exponential growth. Look, from here to here. Of course, it was a bounce.
exactly, yeah,
It's
and
still very
it's
it's very
starting to
steady.
fall.
I don't know if we can see such things, but even on the past, yes, here 60. Yes, yes, yes. It's still positive. It's still positive. I cannot say. I cannot say. Uh, the Nasdaq is a good investment on the long term. Look, if you buy any time, it looks high now. I wonder if it's gonna go one day above the Dow Jones, but well, you buy any time, it's always. But still high, still high. So it's the recent line that is very very scary. Like if you we are in the top, so a little correction is still possible, on my opinion.
Mm, yeah. So liquidity should start hitting the market soon. I could definitely see this going up a little bit higher. I would
What can happen?
say I could see us on the Nasdaq. Um, maybe 27,000. Maybe we could run up from here a little bit more.
And then retest this
It could
22.
be a little bit volatile. We could touch 27 maybe. I think a lot of liquidity is going to start coming in, but I think right now, even just looking at the chart, when it's gone, this just look at the parallel here. If we look at it, just technical analysis wise, I
We're at
could
the top.
definitely I could definitely see this going sideways or having a nice little correction.
Yes, look.
Even this channel, I
So
could
we
see it
we hit the
having
top.
I
We
could
hit
see
the
it
top.
having a bit of a correction and going sideways for a bit. Mate, I don't see it doing a big correction like we just witnessed. down to the bottom of April 7th. I just don't see that happening. I see it kind of going sideways and a little bit down maybe, and sort of struggling and just almost like just digesting that massive move that it just made.
And this type of how to say, let's see, in a weekly basis, this type of big correction, they happen very like every 4 years. Look like one big during COVID and one big in
Before
25.
we should probably move to the next chart, but let's just get to the brass tacks here, because we're here to make predictions and have a look at it. What do you think? I think we should go sideways.
I think we are positive.
What
No
do you
big
mean?
correction. I don't see any big correction soon, because we got it in April. So people that enter here, they're gonna hold. And except if there is a major economic recession, I don't see any reason for another correction soon.
Okay. I kind of see it going sideways for a little bit because of all of the fear in the market, the psychology that I'm seeing out there. Usually that plus the possible stimulus checks, the dividend that Trump wants to bring in, plus even though it's 50% chance that we'll get a rate cut in December, it does look like they're going to do everything they can to prevent a proper collapse. So what I kind of see is it going sideways and eventually hitting 27K, new all-time high, over the next, say, 6 months. I don't see, even though, but I would say it going sideways and chopping sideways maybe for 6 months and digesting the move. The reason is because there's so much panic out there. And the fact that there's so much panic, it makes me think that too many people are too leveraged, and the government and the banks can't afford this to have a proper correction, or something major will break in the economy. That's my take on it, because I think, when we're looking at the financial markets, we also need to think about the political economy and what's going on. So that's basically my take. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think we're going to just keep skyrocketing up?
No, not skyrocketing, because like I said, the bonds is very how to say, like the bonds is very important. From 16 is like another 60% up, and I don't think that we're gonna go to 40K anytime soon. So if I look at previous trend, when like you say, we might say between 28 and 24, 22 for a long time, like maybe a year, like
24. What's that?
24,000. Yes. So we are at 24. I think we're gonna maybe test again the all-time high, and we can have a correction to 22, like to the previous.
Okay, so you think, short term we're going to have a good correction down to where's that mark there?
I think 22. We can go back to 22.
Okay, so over maybe
test the previous support here.
Okay, so I think that, that's what we should be doing too, because I think if people are watching, they're only watching to figure out should they buy or should they sell. And after making 25-30%, which is what the guys that follow me, I told them to sell last month, basically pick the top, basically. So both of us, even though I think that we got more upside and we could go to 27K, I would much prefer.
I think we're gonna eat here.
I'd much prefer all of the guys that are following me to sell at this point, and that's why I told them to sell, just lock in the profit. Even if things rocket off for another like 6 months, let's just wait for some red candles to get back in. We've stolen 25-30%. Let's take it to the bank. let's get out and let's just wait for another good opportunity. So if what you say happens, then around that mark, 22K will be a good buying opportunity.
Yes. Anything below 22, it's a good deal.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of so that's a good little look at the entire market. It's a good little look. So now let's have a look at some individual
Look,
AI.
you always go here. There is always correction, and you always go back to the previous top. So even here, you see, he went back at 10. He went back to the previous top. Pardon. Here, he went back to the previous top at 16. So at least we go back to 22. Anyway, let's look for some stocks. Can you see Meta?
Yeah, I can see. Yeah. So this is the daily chart.
Yes.
Actually, can I make this larger? Oh, this might be better. Oh, there we go. That's so much better. I can see more. Oh, okay, now I can see. Yep, good. So this is the daily. You go back. How far? 24. Okay, I see.
Still already lost 25% from 800, the top to 600.
Yeah.
I think
When was that top? September. So that was recently. August.
August.
Yeah. All the way back to 2024, mid 2024 prices, basically. See, that's the beauty of having something volatile is you'll always get another opportunity. And it's really simple when you're patient and you just look at red candles. Look for some red candles, buy on red, sell on green. That's why I was telling people to buy in. It was
When you say it, it looks like so easy.
When I was, yeah, well, the funny thing is it's not that complicated. It really isn't. But it was a bit of a fluke to pick April 7th, but not so much of a fluke. But last month I was telling everybody to sell their stocks and lock it in, and then we're done. We're finished. We're good now. So looking at Meta, looking at this, I would definitely at this point be watching it very closely because there's some red candles.
It's been 4 weeks of correction. 1, 2, 3.
You can kind of see it's in the same sort of channel. What are there any fundamentals that we need to worry about with Meta that you can think of? Because when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking it's back to there. What's the probability of it dropping down to that previous drop? Was it 500 there?
480, yes. Let me see. It looks more like he's gonna go back to the previous bottom. Yes.
So this is why, like, I would have a whole list of stocks and I'll be watching a whole bunch of them. If Meta was to go back to 500, I'd be backing up the truck.
It looks so easy when you think about it. You just wait, a good opportunity, you enter here, and that's it.
So right now, if you look at it, there's like a blow off top, and Facebook's not going anywhere. It's not like Facebook is going to collapse. I haven't heard any bad news. Now, I would be looking at that price point or near there. Or is it 5 to 550? That big block there. You can kind of see there's a whole bunch of range just above. There. Oh, go up there. That little range there. You can see there's that range there.
Yes.
Between there.
Above 550.
Like if it was to go down around there, so you can see even all the way back at 2020. Where's the top at 2022? That's 300, almost 400.
380.
So really,
at 380, it's a very good price.
So 23. So this was 380, say 400 up until, really, it's been in a nice little uptrend. It almost deserves to have a bit of a pullback, but I'll right now I wouldn't be buying. I wouldn't be touching it right now. I'd be watching it and I'd be looking to try to get in lower. And if it never gets there, I just never buy it. You see?
Multiply by 6, 7 between the bottom of 22. So anything above 550 is very expensive.
So 500, that range there, 500, or even look, if it was to somehow get back to 400,
it will be okay here.
It depends on how safe you want to play this. You see, because we just took 25-30% out of the market, went through a massive run on Bitcoin as well, also in profit on gold. There's no panic. There's no rush. You got lots of time now. Bought yourself time. So I'd be looking at this thinking, I probably, if it came back to 500, I'd probably be hoping for a 450, 400. That's when I would have no problem pushing that buy button. If it went back there, I'd have no problem if it went back there.
It needs to be...
And that's what you're looking for. It's really simple. Like just buy on red candles and be patient. And you just watch it. And then just...
You need a correction before going up again because it's too much.
But have you looked into any other fundamentals on Meta? I personally haven't. It seems to be doing okay in many countries. I haven't heard any bad news about Meta.
No, I didn't dig into Meta.
WhatsApp and Instagram seems to be doing very well at the moment. Instagram's doing very well. It's competing with TikTok, and I think the purchase of TikTok by the same people who own Meta, they're basically the same people. They're basically best buddies, the people who own Meta and the people who now own TikTok. And I think part of the game is to try to help Meta. That's my take, because what I've noticed is that Instagram has now been using some form of new algorithm that seems very similar to TikTok with its, it has these reels. It's in a bit of a trend, but I think it would be, if it went back to that blue line, I still wouldn't want to touch it.
No.
Because look, if this is your stock and you love this stock and you know it very well, you know the company really well, and you think that buying when it touches that blue line is safe, I would be always worried about the double dump. Hitting that blue line, going sideways a bit, kind of like digesting the move a bit more, and then going back to 450.
For me, Meta went too fast. From 100 to 800, like in 2 years, multiply by 8 is too much.
It's amazing because if you look at that, the bottom of 2023, that's almost the bottom of where Bitcoin was.
Yes.
Bitcoin was at end of 2022, early 2023.
Yes. It's the same moment. It's funny.
You see how they kind of correlated in a way, and now it's like rolling over. Anyway, I'd be looking at that going 400, 450, you'd be wanting to get, if it goes back to 400, because you know, if this goes on for the next 6 months and you're down near around 450 looking at this stock, you'd be thinking, I would feel safe getting in at 400. You know, I'd feel safe. Here, I know that there's a lot of downside and it could be very dangerous. It's unlikely at this stage in the market, after a couple of years run, that this thing skyrockets off to 700. Look at that. And you can also see here, yeah, it's quite volatile, isn't it?
Yes.
I can see this spending a bit of time digesting, and the people who made all that money over this short period of time, taking money off the table and going enjoying their life for a couple of years or putting it somewhere else. But that looks like a bit of a bubble to me. It looks like, and the scary thing is, see that keep the chart there. See that bubble just before? See all those red candles? Yeah, that. So the bottom before it took off on the left, before it took off, if you can move your cursor to the left down the bottom. Oh no, not that. Move the cursor, not the screen. Not that one. Left.
Yeah.
Not that far. A little bit to the right. We're close. There. So there, when it collapsed, it dropped lower. So if this was a little mini bubble, it burst lower than where the previous high was.
So you can go back to 300.
Which is very dangerous, because if you look at this, what if it does come down there again? And that is really possible with some of these stocks.
If you look here, it's 370 and it went to 80, so we divide by 4. So if we do the same from 800, we can go to lower of the previous top and go to 200.
We could go anywhere, but what do you think? Where would you buy in? You know, what do you think about it from, like,
since I will start to listen to you, I will start to be a bit more careful, and I wouldn't press I wouldn't buy anything above the previous top. So it needs to be below 380.
Because if you were to buy in at the bottom and you're at the top up here, you're probably thinking, oh no, hold. We're gonna go back to 700, 800
million.
And people are calling you saying, Leo, sell, it's time to sell. He's like, no, 800. Hold. Leverage. Because it's like, oh, I'm rich now, more. It's like, well, you know, in hindsight, that's not, you know, you don't want emotion to get into it. And when you look at it, this isn't rocket science.
It looks very similar to here, by the way. So you see, it went up from 120 to 380, so multiplied by 3 in 2 years. So very volatile. So, and then divided by 4. So like you say, it went even lower than before. So we can go back to 300. It wouldn't be a problem here. Even if you buy at 3 and you go back to 2, you can always, after, bounce back from 2 to 6, and you still multiply by by 2, by 100%.
Okay, yeah. Let's try to move through these charts a little bit better.
Yes,
a little bit
Amazon
faster.
here. Amazon.
Yeah, you can kind of see there's been a bit of a bubble going on. That's a bubble on Meta. That's a bubble.
So here, Amazon.
Where's the bottom of Amazon there? Where's that bottom?
Tough. So April 160, we took back 60%, and the previous bottom is the same.
No. Back up. But I just show me the other one. Yeah, the other one. April. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's done the same run, hasn't it?
Yes.
It's done the same run.
Less volatile than Meta.
But like this thing better be paying out some. There better be other perks other than this. If you're just holding spot type, you know, there's what's the benefit of this at this point? It's not a lot. It's not a lot. And if you have a look at September 2024, it retraced back to the same moment, you know, in April 2025.
It's
You
in a
know,
range. It's in a range.
it's already had a bubble burst. That's a bubble.
It's a range, yeah.
So
And it got obviously
January,
rejected.
so January 2025, that looks like a bubble to me, a bubble burst. It's like a double top. And then it hit a double top. All the TA experts got in there and they decided to sell. Like everything else sold off. April, buy back in. Now it's struggling at the same range, you know.
I wouldn't buy above 160 if you want my opinion. You can enter here if you want 160. Anything above is a risk.
Meta looks a better buy. You know, if I was holding it at this point and I got in at April, I would be getting out. The same way if I was looking at Meta would be a better buy than Amazon right now. If let's just say you need to buy something, Meta is a way safer bet than this, because this is already it has consolidated for such a long time. It might have had enough time to, you know, digest it, I guess. But
Let's see.
you know, if I was putting a short on it, would be on this one.
Amazon.
And also, we also need to think, like, you know, we need to think of the competitors that Amazon has at the moment too. Like recently, I've been using Shopee. You know, you got Alibaba. You got these massive, and there's a whole bunch of Chinese ones coming out, and they're cheaper. In some cases, they're better. You know, and Amazon, you know, there's a lot of rules around Amazon, a lot of taxes.
Yes, yes.
This could be, if you have a look at it, it could be a bit of a, you know, this thing could find itself in a bit of a bad state. It did skyrocket, hit a new high, and that looks like, to me, like a bit of a volatile pump at the end. Two big green candles, new all-time high. And
Yes,
then
they make you believe you're gonna go up, and then they sell on you.
and then you know, could end up coming all the way. That looks like a volatile pump blow off top to me.
Anyway, like I say, anything above 160 is a no zone.
Yeah, that's a no buy for me. Yeah, Meta looks way safer to get in, but also keep in mind we're in a bubble. I think we're kind of in a bubble. I'm done with this one. I'm done with this one.
Next one is CrowdStrike. Is this one you share with me? CrowdStrike.
Oh, yes.
Is cybersecurity.
Yes.
Yes. So it should go up. This is something
So,
very new to say.
so this one, yeah. So the reason why this one's in the list, it is an AI stock. You know, it is a Nasdaq. We have geopolitical problems, and cybersecurity is one of the. Cybersecurity is a huge industry that's just starting to kick off.
Yes, it's growing. It's
Now,
growing.
is that April again? Is that an April?
Here is
September.
April. So
Yeah,
300 in
yeah.
He bounce better, by the way. Look, all-time high and almost double since compared to
I,
Amazon. Almost double compared.
yeah. I like how volatile this is. So if this volatility means people care about this one, and if you have a close look at it, if this thing was to, it's definitely not a buy at this point.
But it's positive trend. Huh? If we look at it on a
Yeah,
weekly.
but if you buy now and it does a reversal, it's clearly in a situation
No, it's a bit
where
high. Bit high. It's on bubble. It's on a big bubble.
what
Wow.
was the? Can you go back to the other chart that you had? Just whatever. What was that? Oh, this is weekly. Okay, maybe daily would make a little bit more sense. What we're looking at before.
Look, 100 multiplied by 5. It's on. It's on.
Yeah, even there you can see. You can see. I think you can see how it comes back, and it gives you. The beauty of this is it gives you a lot of opportunities to get in.
You see, you always go back to the previous top. So here the top was 400, and the correction in September 400. So here at 400, it was a good buy, a good. It was a good entry point. So always the previous top is coming back. So let me put it back
See,
on.
look, even Meta just looks like the best one to get into at the moment, just by looking at the charts. Yeah,
Yes, but it's on correction. It's on correction.
this needs to pull back. You know, it's not exactly rocket science, this stuff, is it? If you were to be holding it at this point, I'll just get out. If I was holding and I was smart and I was lucky enough to buy in and get in on some good red candles, you know, if I was to get in at April or even at that second dip there, I would be getting out now.
Yes.
Yeah. And the thing is, what we're looking at right now, everybody on planet Earth can do as well. But this is definitely one that I think is important to have a look at. I think it's an
But
important stock to look at.
I think this one, because like you say, cybersecurity is the future, or it's the present and the future. With a good entry point at 400 uh, for something, it's a good one to hold after.
Yeah.
But very volatile, as you see.
Yeah.
400, yes, you can lose 50% in a very short time. So it's important to buy it low. Next one, Okta. So Okta, is it this one again? What is Okta?
Yeah. Okta is cloud storage.
Yes, yes, I
And
know.
oh, is that?
Yes,
Oh, oh,
it's bad.
oh. Okta's a buy. I would say that's a buy.
Um, yeah, you start to enter the good area. Yes, between 70 and 80. Oh, um, I think we need to look more at the fundamental if there is any good news because so there was a big bubble during COVID during the Bitcoin. and he explodes. So he went from 300 to 45. So he divide by 6, 200 by 40, yes. And now we are kind of yes, you can take the bet, but you're in the middle gray area. You can buy a little bit here, hoping a bounce back, but
See, like you just put this on your list. This will be on the list with Meta. You know, we've got the price range for Meta to get in, and the price range on this one would be, you know,
50.
and I think being smart too, just being smart and patient, and knowing that, you know, 50, 60, 70, if you were to get in 50, 60, 70. But also just not caring if you miss the opportunity. But if it was to somehow come down there, you see, is this one in a bear market now, and it's trying to find the bottom, and then maybe in the next couple of years it does another run like this? Who knows? It's
Need to look at the fundamental a bit more if their financial are doing well. But it's a good one to have. It's a good one to have to look at it as.
Yeah, I would say, because at this point here, where we're looking maybe, you know, we're looking maybe 60 if possible, and then let's just say it goes a little bit lower, and then, you know, over the next like 6 months it goes back to 120. You've made 50%. That's massive, you see. But yeah, like, I would also be watching what happens if cash comes out of NASDAQ, it comes out of Amazon, maybe it comes out of a few other stocks, large caps, and starts flowing in here, and this thing goes on a run. That's possible. Yeah. But yeah, you can see.
Need to monitor and look if there is some positive financial results. But this one can, I don't know if you can go back to 280, but you never know.
Yeah.
You see here there is like a, how to say, like support at 40. So is it going back to the same support? But I think this one, it's interesting to keep watching time to time, this one. Next one, BN, which is Brookfield, if I am right. And this is an investment company about, it's a lending global alternative asset management. Brookfield stocks, yes.
Yes.
It's a Canadian business, one of the largest alternative investments, 1 trillion of US assets under management. A lot of money
based
from
out of Toronto, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. A lot of money from global public pension fund, and he focus on investment in real estate, renewable power infrastructure, credit, and private equity.
Yeah. So at the moment there are a lot of cracks forming in the Canadian property market. There's been a lot of cracks forming. I don't know whether there's a lot of Chinese money leaving. I know the Indian money's not leaving. The Indian money's staying because they got nowhere else to go. But there's a lot of Chinese money that is kind of sick of the living arrangements in Canada, and there's been a lot of people talking about the drop in property prices across. So you can kind of see a few cracks sort of forming here.
It's on how to say support, because the previous top was $40, so it goes back to 42, 43. Could be an interesting entry point, but there is, how to say, the top have been rejected. So
Well, the look at that, a lot of people would probably see those three bottoms and think, oh, this is a great opportunity. But that's usually when you get caught. You see, this is way too high, way too dangerous to get in. Is that April again? It is.
yes.
It's April.
Oh, I
So
don't know.
there's a direct correlation with almost everything.
Give me 1 second.
So for me, that's not a buy right now. It's a little bit dangerous to be playing with that one at the moment.
Yes.
Did you put FTNT in or not?
Yes. Next
Oh,
one.
you did. Okay. Yep.
Let me check what they do. FTNT. Anyway, previous one bit high. Oh, cybersecurity again. This one.
Yep.
Wow.
FTNT. Yep. So yeah, cybersecurity. This is kind of, it's something to have a close look at, especially because of the geopolitical situation we find ourselves in. Yeah, it's a good line that you put through right there.
I didn't put any line; it came by itself, but it's a good line.
That's a good line.
Yes. So previous top, July 23. Another top, October, and then he break up. So he went to. So let me do the line. Parallel.
Yeah, it looks like it's struggling here.
Yeah. Very volatile, this one, huh?
So there's a lot of gaps in the chart. Why is that? Is that just it didn't print properly, or is that?
No, I think it's like how to say, from
It's
Friday to Monday. So it's
it's
like
real.
very volatile between the Friday
Yeah.
and so you see Thursday, Friday, and then you open on. I think I'm on the good one. FTNT. Let me see in another market. Yes, it's very volatile one. Yes, very volatile. Will be interesting to dig into it. Why it's very volatile? But
Can you zoom out a little bit and just so we can see a little bit more? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it did it. It consolidated for a long time, didn't it?
yes.
So
So obviously, when you retouch the previous bottom here, so when is this? November 23. When you went back to the previous bottom, it was a good entry point, like 40, 45. You could sell here with almost 100% profit. Here it triple, so obviously here people that sold did the right choice. Now we are here, and we are kind of a middle because we are in a bottom and support. And the question is, will it go back to 40 or go up? And I wouldn't touch this one.
yeah, it would have to definitely come back to at least the 60 range ish.
Yeah. at least 60.
something
But
like that, or
yes.
like if it went down the 40 and yeah, because what we're kind of looking at right now, we're most of these stocks are in a bubble. We know that most of them are in a bubble. They're too high, and we're looking for some red candles. We're looking for some beautiful red candles, and that's a nice little pullback. But you can see there's a lot of consolidation there. It'd be good to get right into the guts of this consolidation. I would feel safer getting in around 60, and also knowing that if I got in at 60 and I held it for a while and it somehow gets back up to 120, I've made 100% on this. I'd be happy to hold it for a couple of years just to get that 100%. But at this point, yeah, I'd say because that peak there, and that's not too long ago.
If you look the previous top, they always
Mm.
lost 50% or almost 50%. So from 80 went back to 40. Why not 122 back to 60? Yes. So like you said, 60 is a good entry point. Nothing above.
It's a yeah.
You need to
Because
correct.
ultimately, what we're trying to do is reduce the downside. Try to think about the macro as much as we can, and be patient, because patience is everything here. This touching that top, this could come back down and go sideways within that range for another couple of years. Why not just be patient until you get a nice little dip back? As long as you believe that this company is not going anywhere. It's a large company, though. Large, relatively safe company.
And don't forget, you multiply by 12 in 5 years. So if you bought during COVID at $10, you will be selling at 100. So it's the end of this bubble. Like this
Yeah.
was cheap, $10, $10. Wow. Anyway, I wouldn't buy. Let's go to the next one. Visa. So Visa, I
Visa.
think
You put Visa in there. What
because it
was
was on the
your?
list. It was on the list. V. I think V for Visa. I think V is for Visa. Let me check. V. Yes, V is for Visa because I typed V and V is Visa.
Oh, so you. Oh, okay. Yeah, that. Yeah, on top of that is okay. Anyway,
I think it's good to look at this one because it's the card, credit card, and you reflect a bit the health of the wealth of people. So
can you zoom out a little bit? Just give us a little bit of a look. It looks like it was going sideways for quite a long time. Yeah, and every now and then, almost every year, it gives you a beautiful red candle to get in. If you were just watching this, waiting for those red candles to come through.
so in April, he went to 300. If he goes back to 300, will you recommend to buy?
So 300 up until 360. Yeah, they didn't really make much in that run. But if you were holding it, you can see it would have been a wild ride just within that
I think
short.
they get dividend on these stocks, so maybe it's the reason why people hold. Uh, I wonder how much is the dividend, but it looks like they get dividend on this one. So yes,
Yeah.
it didn't bounce back much because just 20% from 200 to 360. It's been years of So it looks like a safe bet, this one, but it's still a bit high.
Well, it's had a nice little pullback, hasn't it? But it. I would say, because you can see at the bottom there, 2022, 2021, 2023. How far back is that range? Can you go back just a little bit more? Yeah. So really, yeah, 2020, it was still hitting around 220. It was in that range for a very long time. And so usually, so that's like that's 2.5 years it was. And now we're just in another run. This could now go in another range for a couple of years before it does anything. You can see, like, let's just say, yeah, 2022, 2023. That's a real interesting It's a real interesting channel that was in 2022, 2023. But yeah, every time it gets some red candles, because it's now in a different, this thing.
It's on a bigger range. So you see, there was here a big range that stayed for how long? It stayed a big range, let's say, from 19. So it took 4 years. So no, but between these stops, so 21 to here, 2 years to break the previous big range. So between 25 years, it can stay 2 years between 290 and 400.
Yeah.
So
And so that's the thing. I don't think a lot of people look at these charts in real simple terms like this, thinking, well, I'll wait for some red candles. I'll try to buy in low. I'll hope that I pick the right time. As long as you're buying on some red candles. So this is a little bit of red candle. I'd want a
yes.
little bit more. I want a little bit more. And when you put those lines on the chart, I'd want to get in a little bit lower. And let's just say
At least at 200, you want to enter here. You want to.
yeah, what was that? 290 there,
You want to
290,
be here.
250, 250. Let's just say it comes back to 250 to 90-ish.
You want to go here.
And you were to get in there, and it would go into a bit of a range. But again, I'll be looking at that. I'll be very patient. I'll be waiting for it to really drop. Because if you go back to, can you go back to, I think it's 2023, that peak?
Yes. 21.
21, was that July 21, is it?
Yes.
August, yeah, there. So
It took 2 years to explode it.
So you see that it kind of looks like we're in, you can kind of pick these tops. Like it's not rocket science, is it? You can literally just have a look at it.
Why we are not all rich? Why we are not all rich? Anyway,
Selling the top might be the reason.
my entry point is 250, 280.
Yeah, and it could definitely go sideways. This is one of those companies that isn't going away anytime soon. If you can get in a range.
It looks so easy with you. Anyway, here is a duplicate. Next one, Microsoft.
It's not impossible. Nothing is impossible. Can you see my shirt?
I cannot see your shirt. I see the screen, but is it Amazon? No, I want Microsoft. MS. What is Microsoft? Yes, it looks simple when you make it simple. What is Microsoft? MS. Oh. Micro. Yes, MSFT. Okay, so.
Whoa! You can see there's all of these are in dangerous bubbles.
Yeah,
Wow!
yes,
I
yes,
would.
yes.
I is that April again? Is that April?
Yes,
What's the exact bottom on that? April
345. Um,
April 4 or 5. Okay, yeah, yeah.
um, okay, okay. So obviously it's bullish since 10 years, but I think we double top and we start to correct and we're still high. Um,
We're definitely we're in a period where people are starting to seriously think about taking, like, after getting that little run there.
you know what we see in finance, that always the gap get filled. So we will go back to 400. Um, so obviously this area is to here it's a good how to say, we might go back with a high probability in this area, in this range. And will it be a good entry point?
So that correction there, February 2022, that correction between that top and that next bottom, 2023, how long did that take?
Between
Not there, left,
this
left.
one?
Yeah, that one to the bottom.
Yes, yes.
How long did that take to
So
correct?
November, same as Bitcoin. It took um, two
Okay, let me,
years, 2 years, 2 years. No, November 21, end of 13 months.
so basically 1 year. Hmm. You know, this is it went on a run. It's gone sideways. There was a bit of a correction, and then it's done this parabolic move. There's a bunch of these stocks where I could see.
Look on the weekly. Wow.
Yeah, you see, if you're buying here, you don't deserve your money. If you're buying here, you have no business buying anything.
I think we need to still go back to the previous top, so double top. We need to go back and do something like we need to do something like this, like before going back up. Like we need
or,
to do
or,
this.
or we get the rate cut, we get the liquidity, we get the stimmy checks come out, the dividend, and this thing just goes sideways for a while. Some of these I could see going in a range for 12 months. I can't see many of these over the next 6 months exploding, though. I could see a lot of people taking cash out of this and then putting it into, say, the Nasdaq or the S&P, just to get another 10% over the next 6 months. That's possible. But I could see a lot of these, 2022 on Microsoft for a good year, and then going ballistic like this. This is a parabolic move.
Yes, yes. If you have how to say, if you have the strength, you could always short. It's a good place to short here because it's obvious that there is not much up here. Like, where are we gonna go? 600, 700? No, it's too high, too high, too high. So at least he needs to go back to somewhere close of 400, which is not far. We are at 500, is just 20% done.
I think next time it will be good if we go through all of the, Palantir, Oracle, we go down the list of
Yes, yes.
Nvidia. We got maybe next time we go through those ones, because in that bundle that are kind of they're kind of in the same sort of ecosystem in a way. It'd be good to have a look at them.
Yes, and we can look some terms as well.
Yeah, Microsoft at this point is, if you're buying it, look, you should be banned from stocks. You're not allowed to play this game anymore if you're buying at this point, because the probability of this, let's just say it gets another 10%, then you're just lucky. Go to the casino. You've got no business playing this game. Yeah. What else is on the list? I think that covered a lot of the ones that I wanted to have a look at. Did we?
I
What
wanted
about
to look at Netflix. We can finish by Netflix eventually.
Netflix? Well, Apple would be good, because I'm
Yes,
really
I have Apple
concerned
too.
about
Same thing for
Netflix.
Netflix. It's a big
Wow.
bubble on a weekly basis, and
Whoa.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
buying.
That's a short if I've ever seen one.
So
Wow. See, this is like buying Bitcoin. 2022.
yes, $10, 18, pardon. Almost like Bitcoin, by the way, because wow, yes, because
What
Bitcoin went to
percentage drop?
16. Look, $16,000 of Bitcoin. Here it went to 17. Or Bitcoin went to 18 or 17. Anyway, it looks like the same. And look, 120, 130, and Bitcoin went to 125. Wow. I will
No,
look at it on correlation
Bitcoin
later on.
Bitcoin went to 15,500.
And look, even the top. The top was 68 or 69 in 21 at the same period. And look, here is 67.
What's the time? How long did it take that red candle to hit the bottom?
Um, Faster, it bounces back faster. So
Was this,
7 months of correction.
when you look at this, I could see a lot of these go sideways for maybe 6 months. Lull people into a false sense of security that it's digested the move, and then I could see, 12 months from now, maybe 6 months from now, some of these go into 6 months of just red. And this is what this one did here. See, if you go back to 2020, it had a big run. It went sideways. It had one more little final pump, and then 6 months of just collapse.
It looks like Bitcoin. I need to leave 1 minute. I'm come back. 1 minute.
Yeah, I think we also need to have a quick look at Apple. Yeah, this
one looks very correlated to Bitcoin. It's crazy.
can't hear you, dude. I don't know why he's yelling across. So when I'm looking at this, 2019, it was a good little run up sideways, and then a final little parabolic move at the end of, say, 2021 by the looks of things, and then a massive dump. This, wow. Yeah, when you have a look at this could go, it could go sideways, it could dump and then pump. Look at 2019. It pumped, went sideways, dumped, went back to basically back to where it was before going on a run. If you're buying this, like, we need to call the doctor. We need to call the psychologist, and we need to get the psychologist in.
So
And
where will you enter? So here.
So clearly it went on a big move. Don't change the chart. Don't change the chart. It went on a good move, and then it went sideways, and then it had a parabolic green candle up to suck more people in, and then it dumped for 6 months. That is so classic. You know, the sideways movement suck people in
A bit of up, and then
and then it goes lower than where it was before. And so imagine holding that roller coaster thinking that you're going to get rich and not selling on that green candle. You know, this would be, you know, it would be heartbreaking for you when you have a big run up like that. This here, these are all in a bubble. They're all in a bubble. And if someone's buying this right now, I've got a counselor that you need to speak to, and you need to talk about all of your problems, and you should keep, you know, and the inflation's bad, I get it, but the inflation's going to be better than you buying this thing and losing 20%. I'd rather lose 10, 15% on whatever currency I'm holding than touching this.
So what is a good entry point? 80?
Because there's multiple different options for this one, but look at what it's got to digest this move. That's the thing. All of these stocks, almost all of them, have a lot of digesting to do. You see, some of the other smaller ones that we're looking at, you know, I would say like the cybersecurity ones. They've digested some big moves. They're down low enough. Yeah, Netflix is definitely a bubble.
So from here to the bottom, that's a drop of 75%. If we calculate the same from the top, so 130, 133, if it does a similar drop, we will be at 33, which is kind of here. So you see how crazy it is. It means from here to 33, it will be here.
And when you're thinking, if you're looking at that in 2022, and you're looking at all of the new competitors out, that's like Prime and Hulu, and you know, you've got all of these new competitors streaming. You know, for Netflix to make this much, this is just people speculating. This has nothing to. I can't see. I can't think of one awesome Netflix series or movie that is better than anything else. This is just speculation. So,
do you have Netflix? I don't have Netflix.
I do have Netflix actually, and I got Prime here as well. And I think I've got all of them actually. I think I've got all of them. I've got Hulu. I've got, but there's a lot of competitors now, and it doesn't make sense that any of these would be doing this. This is.
Will you buy with the same percent of correction if it goes 70%, 75% down? Will you buy at $33?
This type of move, that's the end of a stock, in my opinion. it does something like this, and it's like a like
Okay,
this.
you don't see it fully correlated with Bitcoin. Okay, so you think this? Yes, it could be the end and finish.
So what I mean by the end is, it's like, how many years does it take for this stock to recover from that? Because it's kind of like, you made love.
Let's keep
But
it into stocks. Let's keep it into stocks. Okay, so
you,
if you
but
somehow it's a short, it's a crypto. It's a crypto. You see, I'm so much in love with crypto. It's
it's
a stocks that
definitely,
you can short. It's a good short point, and you
yeah,
can.
yeah. It's definitely a short. It's definitely a short, and you can see it looks like a few people have tried to short it already
Yes, yes, yes. It's a
with
no.
those volatile.
Let's
Yeah,
go to Apple. Apple.
yeah. I'm seriously concerned about Apple.
Still growing. Let's look in a daily basis. Mm, mm,
But
is it?
everything is at all-time highs. Everything is in bubble territory. Where was 20? Where's April?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Everything's in a bubble. Massive bubble. Everything's in a bubble.
Yes.
But also,
Look, look on weekly. Wow. Wow.
yeah. See, April was a no-brainer. April was a back up the truck and throw all your cash at it. With most of these, in fact, the TA 100 was probably the best option during that time. TA 100,
Um,
TA 200, yeah, TA 200, they'll do. So go to April.
this is an index, Israel index. Which index you are talking about?
This one did like 50%.
Yes, yes. But everybody did 50%.
No,
Let's look.
S&P.
Let's look.
Nas-
Dow Jones.
no, it didn't even crack 30% on the Dow Jones from April.
Really?
Same as the Nasdaq, same as the S&P.
Wow, you're right.
They didn't crack 30%. They were close. If you were to buy the exact, pico bottom and pick the absolute top,
Yes, yes.
but
What about the German one? Let's look at here. 18 to, oh yes, he just took 25%, even less.
yeah,
Anyway, let's go back to Apple. Yes, he's on bubble, wouldn't buy. You can short eventually, but if you know to do it.
yeah, I'm
Any
concerned. I'm concerned Apple might, as a company, might look, the amount of phones coming out of China at the moment, the amount of really good phones coming out of China right now. Even me, I've got a Honor phone, basically made by Huawei. So
You mean nobody buy Apple anymore?
people are still buying Apple. It's just, people are slowly starting to realize that there's more value in an Oppo or a Viva or Honor, Huawei. There's so many awesome Chinese phones coming out. They're all Android. I think Samsung's in a bit of trouble as well. They're just losing market share everywhere. But overall, this is not a time to be buying stocks, is it?
Is that Samsung? Not sure. Anyway, the last one that I wanted to watch was Tesla. And it start to correct already, like the others.
Yeah. Where was April on this one? Down at that bottom there.
Yes. He stayed a bit longer. He went 3 times to the bottom in April.
Mm.
He was correcting already in March, so he was in advance. He has been corrected. Yes. This one was kind of advanced indicator because it was already done since January. Let's look at it in weekly. Yes, it was a nice bubble from 25 to.
That's
100.
amazing. So that's amazing right there. That explosion end of 2024. Not that one. No, not
This
that
one?
one. The big one.
So this one to this?
No, right.
Oh, this one
That's the big one.
in 3 months.
That's massive.
Yes.
That's when something like that happens. Let's just say you're holding it and it blows off top like that, and you're lucky enough to have your faculties working, and you look at it and you just realize, I'm selling. I'm going to take my 20-30%. I'm going to be smart here. And you're lucky to have everything working in your life where you're not stressed, and you realize, you look at that and you go, I'm going to sell. And then after you sell, the thing collapses and it goes all the way down to within a range that it's been in for 2 or 3 years. And then you throw it all back in there. That's like, and then it does it again within a couple of months. That's, and you can see on the chart, it hasn't happened. It kind of happened 2023, kind of, but not really. You got there. It was a little bit longer, but that one at the end of 2024, wow! Like if you were holding 2024 and it exploded through.
Depends where you buy, but
yeah, that would
yeah,
be.
I wouldn't touch Tesla. It's at the top, as you see. Up. Anything above 150.
So everything's in a bubble. Everything's in a massive bubble. And basically, I would say the smart people would be just watching all of these charts every day. You just check in every day. You just see what's getting the most damage. Where the most red candles are, and just monitor it over the next 6 months, and hope that one of these large stocks that aren't going anywhere anytime soon, they see some serious damage. And but
do you recommend weighted weighted entry, or just always wait the bottom, like
I'm I'm just thinking that what we were just looking at, yeah, almost all of them are too dangerous right now. You know,
There is no opportunity. There is no good opportunity at all.
yeah, and the thing is, with a lot of these stocks, they're very much correlated to each other, and there's a few here and there that are gonna, because once you start seeing, there's what was it? It was Meta that was cracking. I would be checking that every day right now. Every day I'll be checking Meta, and I'll be hoping that it gets down into a nice range. And if it gets nice and low enough, and I start looking at it thinking, "Ooh," I wouldn't be doing what a lot of people think. They go, "Oh, look, I'll put 50% in, or I'll take a nibble here." I I I would look at the range and just be watching the red candles and waiting and thinking, "Okay, this is really low. Can it go to the sweet spot?" And I'll be hoping for that sweet spot. And if it doesn't, I'll be looking at something else. But look at all of them. They're all so high right now. It looks so dangerous to play this game at all. That's just my take on it. But yeah, I feel like we're in a bubble that is. Some people are even saying that this could be like an end of a bigger cycle where we have downturns for multiple years, not just 1 year downturn, like multiples of years. And Netflix has no business being up that high. Tesla's got BYD to deal with at the moment. Apple has Huawei to deal with. We're looking at the end of an era where Amazon's got, Alibaba and Shopee and 20 other new companies coming out of China. All of these companies have direct competitors in China that are just as big, if not bigger, doing more trades per day. They might not be doing it in, we could be looking at the end of a bit of an era right now.
You think we go to a big crash like 100 years ago?
Well, if we're gonna start becoming mercantilist and okay, well, every country that is aligned with the United States has to buy Apple, then there's going to be a decade-long tech battle like what they had with the Soviet Union. Soviet Union obviously lost that battle because their cars, their technology, they weren't able to keep up. I don't think the United States, if they cut themselves off from China, I don't think they'll be able to keep up. China will rocket past them. Huawei, Oppo, Vivo, the new Honor phones are amazing. Samsung's, it's already
Now
falling.
they do cars. So there used to be a time in Europe where we say, "Oh, the cars from China are bullshit," but it's changing.
Yeah, they're really good. So
We can look next time to some Chinese stocks.
yeah, like when India went, like I would even some, we could go through a whole bunch of other topics, like when India and Pakistan had that little skirmish with their fighter jets, and the F-35 went up against the J-9. The American and Russian made fighter jets in India went up against the Chinese made fighter jets in Pakistan, and Pakistan dominated. And then go find out what stocks they are, because the Chinese military industrial complex is something that you should be looking at the moment as well. There's a lot of stocks in there that, they're getting sales now because that J9 fighter jet is signing a lot of contracts. So there's lots of things that we could be looking at, but also we also have to be aware that Netflix was manipulation. That has no business doing that. That was manipulation. The TA200 has no business doing that. There's there's a reason why we looked at the TA200. The TA200 and you look at like and you have a question.
Let's keep it to stocks, and I think
Yeah, we are. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. And
well, let's talk about next week another what to say range of stocks and
yeah. Well, this is a good bundle to have a look at. What we just went through. Cybersecurity is important at the moment. Maybe even look at a few. I think maybe Oracle and Palantir and maybe Cellebrite and Nvidia, and then we could go down the list of that circular economy that they kind of built up, and have a look at all those stocks, because that seems there's something very dodgy going on, and there's so many people talking about it at the moment, where like Nvidia buys something from Oracle, some storage, and then next thing you know, Oracle needs to buy some chips, and it's the same money going around in circles. And people were talking about the accounting and the depreciation issues, and there was some sort of dodgy sort of accounting issues where they think that these stocks could drop upwards of 40% because the books were cooked in a way. So you think if something starts to crack, Netflix and Apple and Meta and all of those are going to have a nice crash, and some of those red candles might be a good opportunity to get in.
Let's keep it for our next time together, guys. Have a nice day.
Cool.
See you.
Cool.
Thanks for today. Cheers.
Give us a thumbs up if you happen to be watching. There's probably no one watching.